of our ancestors. Now, here, Putala, if we take the introduction, naturally, we have liking to learn the history of our country. No? So, here we are reading books, newspapers, so articles, magazines, stories, folk tales. So, a lot of things we are using, no, to learn about the history. There are stories about our kings, religious leaders, officials who were involved in administrative affairs, for about the tanks, reservoirs of ancient Sri Lanka. No? So, from this lesson, we are going to learn about the ancient lifestyle of the people of Sri Lanka. Okay, so if we take the agriculture, okay, before that, economy. If we go to economy, the people who lived in our country in the olden days, engage in various occupations, various jobs. So mainly, Putala, we can take agriculture, crafts work, and the trade business activities. If we take the agriculture was the those days the main livelihood of the people. It was the main occupation of our ancient Sri Lankans. In that case, the Sri Lanka has gained the name that granary of the East. Okay, Peradikadanyagare. So likewise, that much we were rich. We were a rich nation, and because especially from agriculture sector. So here, if we take the agriculture, Bhute, they are a highland cultivation and wetland cultivation. Highland cultivation means like the vegetables, fruits, grains, those things cultivated from under the highland cultivation. If we take the wetland cultivation, Putala, wetland cultivation means paddy cultivation. Now here have you seen a paddy field? Paddy field is a wetland, no? like like a marshy land, no? We are calling like a mada bivak wagene. So here paddy is doing under wetland cultivation. Now, okay, the agriculture, if we categorize into two parts, we can see farming and animal husbandry. Like farming, paddy field cultivation, wetland cultivation, as I said already, and Chena cultivation, highland cultivation. Chena cultivation means Buddhe, it's a highland cultivation, like crops like grains, vegetables, yams that were needed for the basic subsistence were cultivated in Chenas. No? So here, most of the Chenas done using rainwater, especially Butala, like most of the areas of our country, like in the dry zone, Anuradhapura, Polonnaruwa, they obtain few rainfall, no, less rainfall. In that case, um, by the time our ancient kings, they made lot of tanks, irrigation activities to do agriculture, but this Chena cultivation mainly done using the rainwater. Okay, so here it is the oldest method of cultivation in the world. So here, if we take normally before we are selecting the Chena, like Chena for the cultivate, so we are calling the first one Navadali. Okay, so here they cleared the land by clearing of some extent of wildness and the setting fire to it's called a chena. So normally Putte, so they like a particular area land, so they prepared by clearing some extent. Now here Putala, when we are going to crop some cultivate, like grow some plants, so before that we have to clean the land, no? So there can be some stones, like old roots of some plants, have to remove everything. Then only we have to clear the soil and we have to grow some new plants on that, no? Okay, so likewise, they did the same thing. The Chenas of the olden days are referred to as Sen, Senin Umbanga Jatakaya, and Spiti Bim in stone inscription. Like there are two names, Sen and Pitibim. So here, extent of the or extent of land in forest, usually one which was situated in a little away from homes of the farmers. Have you watched some old, like ancient teledramas? So teledramas, films, likewise. they are select normally, but they have selected their Chena area little bit little bit far away from their places. Then they can easily reach to that place, no? So, usually, which was situated a little away from the homes of the farmers, was selected for making a chena. Preparing of a land for chena was done with manual labor, either individually or in groups. Okay, so they have selected the land in individually or manually in groups. Okay, so here, according to a story that Mahavansa tells us, five brothers of a certain family who lived in a village of what is that? Nissel Vitia in colony name Giri in Ruhuna. These names are very important, Putala, during the reign of King Kavantissa. So there were many evidence we can get, especially from Mahavansa. It tells us five brothers of a certain family who lived in a village of Nisalvatia in a colony named Giri of Ruhuna during the reign of King Kavantissa got together and cleared the forest to prepare the Chena for cultivating black gram. Okay, what black gram? Farmers had to toil paper to Chena. Farmers had to toil to prepare a Chena. In the process of cultivating a Chena, the farmer had to carry out number of tasks until the harvest being gathered. It's not easy task, Pute. So here we have to do lot of things until we obtain harvest. The process of Chena cultivation involves these steps: selecting a suitable land for the Chena, cutting down the wood, clearing the land and setting fire to it, removing the stumps and roots and tilling the land. Have to clear the land. That's what I said earlier. So a chena thus prepared by clearing and setting fire to the virgin land is called Navadalihena. Earlier also I said. So here a chena prepared clearing and setting fire to the virgin land for the first time. Navadalihena, which means a chena that is being cultivated for the first time. Such virgin lands are considered to be extremely fertile. Farming those lands are Putala very fertile for the first time. No? So it's a fertile one normally. So in addition to such tasks, the Chena farmer had to look after the cultivation until the harvest had been gathered and also protect from the wild animals like elephants. Nowadays, the people who are living in Anuradhapura, Polunnaru, those areas are facing the wild elephant problems. No? Wild boars, amber, porcupines, monkeys. In the olden days, farmers adapted to various methods to protect their chenas from wild animals. Some of those methods included building a stockade, making a bonfire, keeping guard from a watch hut. Now, here you can see what is the meaning of the stockade. Okay, now you can see a photo here I have added. So here making a bonfire, then little insects are like they know and they are scared for the bonfire and they are moving the area. Okay, and keeping a guard from a watcher, we are calling pellet. Okay, so here Putala, with the start of rainy season, farmers started cultivating crops in their chenas, various kinds of cereal crops. Cereal means like dhanya. Okay, like millet, kurakang were mostly cultivated in chenas. According to the literary sources, crops like green gram, mungeta, mackerel, long beans, paspala, ginger, mustard, cumin, kind of the paddy name LV. LV, but LV did like normally LV is not cultivating under the wetland cultivation. It is cultivating under highland cultivation. Okay, even though it's a kind of paddy. Okay, sesame, cotton, sugarcane, vegetables like karabatu, solanum, brinjal, ash pumpkin, pumpkin, and various kinds of yams like innala, sweet potato were cultivated in Chenas. Earlier, even a paddy was cultivated as a Chena crop. The kind of paddy that was cultivated in Chenas were called LV. A Chena field in which LV was cultivated was called as L-Hane. Normally, where LV cultivated, we name it as L-Hane. Okay, so speak of L-Hal of the rice obtained from LV, according to an ancient book entitled Sihalavattu King Dutugamunu's son. Prince Salia, have you heard about Prince Salia, King Dutugamunu's son? He was given that name because the LV harvest of the season during which the prince was born was bountiful. Sali is another name for LV. Sali. Sali means like it's another name for LV. In the past, LV was sometimes cultivated in paddy fields to Rattel, Bibilial, and Indial are examples for various kinds of algae that were cultivated in Chenas. Okay. Now, the Chena was usually abandoned. Now, here, after obtaining harvest footage, normally the people abandoned the Chena. Okay, so it had been cultivated once or twice and the harvest had been gathered. They have abandoned. So after the Jena had been abandoned, it became an area of wood once again, and the farmers went for another land for cultivating crops. But it's not nice, So after getting harvest, they are going for another one. So it takes long time to make rich soil again in that Chena. So anyhow, uh, so it's not a good method anyhow, no. So simple tools like cat, we are calling big knife, mammoth, sickles were used in Chena cultivation. Now, we come across various terms in our language that were typically used related to Chena cultivation, although the terms that were used in the Anuradhapura era are not found at present. The following terms that were used in the recent past are useful in understanding the language use that relates to Chena cultivation. Okay, Butala. Navadalihena. Navadalihena means a Chena that had been prepared after setting fire to a virgin land. Okay, now here prepared after setting fire to a virgin for the first time. Guinea shouting aloud in order to chase the animals away before setting fire to the Chena. Yatika means they are believing, like something they are saying, like a prayer. So they are shouting aloud in order to chase animals before setting fire to the Chena. They are asking from the God to protect my cultivation from wild animals and all. Helicata. Helicata means a scarecrow that was made using a clay pot as its head. Okay, so next day I hope to come with the wetland cultivation. So before that, Putala, there's an activity you can see. Fill in the following table with information related to Chena cultivation. Cultivated crops. Can you remember we discussed finger millet, green gram, those kind of things. What are the special features? What are the tools used? Sickles, like big knives, those things, mammoths, terms used, what are the terms they use to cultivate these crops, highland, wetland cultivation, what. So here Chena cultivation, those things you have to write. Okay, so see you from wetland cultivation next.